the moment it became undeniable September 2022. Washington, D.C., a closed-door briefing room inside the United States Senate. FBI Director Christopher Wray sits at a long table. Senators lean forward. He's not there to discuss a foreign military. He's not there to discuss a terrorist network. He's there to discuss an app. An app that, at that moment, sat on the phones of 150 million Americans. His message was precise, controlled. His message was precise, controlled.
Influence what Americans see, what they believe. Data is harvested.
That's just a theory. But this is the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Across the Atlantic, British members of Parliament were being briefed on the same concern. By March 2023, the UK government had banned TikTok from all official government devices. The European Commission followed within days. But here is the question nobody could fully answer in that briefing room. The question that is still not fully answered today. What has TikTok already done with the data of 170 million American users? And who exactly has seen it? To understand what this is, we need to go back. To understand how we got here, we need to go back to 2012. That year, a Chinese technology entrepreneur named Zhang Yiming founded a company in Beijing called ByteDance. Its first product was a news aggregation app. The model was simple. Use artificial intelligence to learn what each individual user wanted to see, then show them more of it. The algorithm was by 2016, ByteDance launched a short video platform in China called Douyin. In 2017, it launched an international version. They called it TikTok. The growth was unlike anything the technology industry had seen. By 2018, TikTok had been downloaded more than 800 million times globally. By 2020, it was the most downloaded app in the United States. By 2023, it had reached 150 million active American users, a number that has since grown to approximately 170 million. Here is what matters. ByteDance is a Chinese company. It is headquartered in Beijing. And under China's national intelligence law, passed in June 2017, any Chinese company or citizen is legally required to cooperate with Chinese state intelligence operations when asked. The question was never whether the law existed. The question was whether ByteDance had been asked to comply. In June 2022, BuzzFeed News published an investigation that changed the conversation entirely. Their reporters had obtained over 80 internal TikTok meetings recorded between September 2021 and January 2022. In those recordings, TikTok employees could be heard discussing the fact that U.S. user data was being accessed repeatedly by ByteDance engineers based in China. One statement from a member of TikTok's Trust and Safety Department, according to the BuzzFeed report, the employee described a ByteDance engineer in China as a master admin. TikTok had previously told United States regulators,
Chinese employees did not have access.
And that Chinese employees did not have access to it. The leaked recordings suggested the opposite was true. The categories of data TikTok collects are extensive, according to its own privacy policy and confirmed filings with U.S. regulators. They include your precise GPS location, your device identifiers, your IP address, your keystroke patterns, your clipboard content, your biometric data, including face prints and voice prints in certain jurisdictions, and your complete browsing and search history within the app. For users under 18, the company also collects information about their messages. This is not background metadata. This is a detailed map of your daily life. And according to those internal recordings, it was being accessed from Beijing. The world pushes back, and TikTok fights hard.
This agreement represents our final offer. I suggest you review it very carefully.
The reaction was swift, but so was TikTok's counteroffensive. In September 2022, TikTok CEO Chu wrote an open letter to U.S. senators. The company announced Project Texas, a $1.5 billion initiative to store all American user data exclusively on servers operated by Oracle, a U.S.-based cloud company with oversight by an independent security board called USDS, the U.S. Data Security Division. But what TikTok did not say publicly was also significant. According to reporting by Forbes in October 2022, ByteDance had been actively tracking the precise locations of specific American journalists using TikTok data in an attempt to identify their sources. ByteDance later confirmed this had occurred and said it had fired the employees responsible. But the damage to TikTok's credibility was severe. In March 2023, Chu appeared before the U.S. House Energy and Commerce Committee for a 5-hour hearing. The session was watched by millions. It did not go well for TikTok. Republican and Democratic lawmakers, in a rare display of bipartisan unity, pressed Chu on ByteDance's relationship with the Chinese Communist Party, on data access, and on content moderation desist. What they were not telling you here is what the congressional hearings rarely explained clearly, and it is documented. The
Algorithm covertly shape American public opinion at scale.
In October 2023, FBI Director Wray testified before the Senate Homeland Security Committee and stated that the concern was not only whether China was currently accessing data, but whether TikTok's algorithm could be used as a tool to covertly shape American public opinion at scale. He was specific. The recommendation engine that decides what 170 million Americans watch every day is controlled by a company that operates under Chinese law. This is the structural power move that the data privacy debate obscures. The data pipeline matters, but the algorithm is the weapon. A peer-reviewed study published in July 2023 by researchers at the Australian Strategic Policy Institute found measurable differences between TikTok's content recommendations in China versus those served to users in Western countries on comparable topics, including political content, historical events, and social movements. The same app, different realities. There is also a documented financial dimension. ByteDance's major institutional investors include Susquehanna International Group, General Atlantic, and Sequoia Capital. American capital is deeply embedded in a Chinese-controlled platform, now at the center of a national security standoff. The lobby against a ban was never purely ideological. It was financial. This was not an accident. The possible outcomes, and what history tells us. In April 2024, President Joe Biden signed into law the Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications Act. It gave ByteDance approximately 270 days to divest TikTok's U.S. operations, or face a nationwide ban. ByteDance immediately challenged the law in court. The case moved rapidly to the U.S. Supreme Court. In January 2025, the Supreme Court ruled unanimously, 9-0, that the forced divestiture law was constitutional. TikTok went dark in the United States for approximately 14 hours on January 19, 2025, before service was restored, pending further political developments. The TikTok situation is now the most significant test case in history of how democratic governments manage foreign-controlled digital infrastructure. There is no clean precedent. The Cold War did not have social media. The War on Terror did not involve an app used daily by half the American population under the age of 35. What history does tell us is this. When a technology platform becomes structurally embedded in a society's information diet, when it shapes what 170 million people laugh at, grieve over, vote on, and believe, the national security risk is not theoretical. It is architectural. But what does a ban actually achieve when the data already collected cannot be uncollected? And what message does it send to every other democracy watching from London, Berlin, and Canberra. What this story really means, so here is where we land. Layer 1. The visible actor is ByteDance, a private Chinese company that built the most powerful attention capture machine in human history and placed it in the pocket of a third of the American population. Layer 2. The systemic force is China's national intelligence law, a legal structure that means no Chinese company can meaningfully refuse Beijing's requests for cooperation, regardless of what any executive says publicly in a Senate hearing. Layer 3. The hidden beneficiary is anyone who profits from the status quo continuing. The American venture capital firms with billions invested, the creators and small businesses whose livelihoods now depend on the platform. And, if the intelligence assessments are accurate, a foreign government with privileged visibility into the daily information diet of the most powerful democracy on Earth. The winners in this story, at least so far, are the lawyers, the lobbyists, and the algorithm. The losers are the users, 170 million of them, who were never clearly told what they consented to when they downloaded an app and started scrolling. This story is not over. The legal battles continue. A forced divestiture or permanent ban remains a live possibility. And the precedent being set right now will define how every government on Earth handles the next TikTok, whatever form it takes. The timing of this crisis was not a coincidence, and the data pipeline, once built, does not simply disappear. So we want to ask you directly, do you believe TikTok poses a genuine national security threat? Or is this a politically motivated attack on a foreign competitor? Let us know in the comments what you think, and in the meantime, thank you very much for watching.